Myself, Funny. Our today's topic is commercial banks. In the last class, we have discussed about RBI, origin, development, functions, and its other instruments like qualitative and quantitative instruments. So, next part in the types of banks after central bank, that is RBI, is commercial banks. In today's session, we are going to discuss what is commercial bank, its definition, its functions, examples of commercial bank, nationalization of banks. All these areas we will discuss in today's session. Okay, so let's start our session with commercial banks. Okay, thank you. Commercial banks. So first, what is a commercial bank? What is the definition of commercial bank? Okay, let's see. These banks are banking institutions that accept deposits and grant short-term loans and advances to their customers. Okay, so in the last session, I have told you in order to understand any concept, one should have the basic definition. Okay, one should have the basic definition and concepts in that basic definition. If you understand the definition, automatically you will understand the concept of that particular meaning. Okay, that particular word. Okay, so see the definition of the commercial banks. These banks are banking institutions. Okay, commercial banks are banking institutions that accept deposits. Okay, and grant short-term loans. Okay, so what are commercial bank? What is a commercial bank? These banks are banking institution. Institution is nothing but organization. Okay, that accept deposits. See, in the last session, if you observe the definition, if you remember the definition of bank, what is the definition of the bank? Accepting deposits and lending loans, right? So the primary definition, the primary function of a commercial bank is accept deposits. From where they are accepting deposits? From its customers. From its customers. Accepting deposits from customers and grant short-term loans. Grant short-term loans to its customers again. Okay, lending. So the primary function of a commercial bank is accept deposits and grant short-term loans and advances. Okay, we will see what is the difference between loans and advances in the coming slides. There I will explain what is the advance, what are the types of advances and all. Okay, to their customers. Okay, so this is the basic definition of a commercial bank. Okay, accepting deposits from the general public and lending loans to its customers. Commercial banks also give medium term and long term loan to business enterprises. Okay, so short term loan means what? Less than 1 year. Okay, medium term say 3 to 4 years. Okay, long term is nothing but 10 to 15 years. So commercial banks participate in the lending activities short term, medium term and long term. They provide loans of these three terms. Okay, nowadays some of the commercial banks are also providing long term basis. So what is the example of long term loan? You can take the example of housing loan. Okay, housing loan duration is between 10 to 15 years. You cannot clear housing loan overnight or within 2 to 3 years. Okay, so nowadays commercial banks are giving housing loans whose duration will be some 10 to 15 years. Okay, so this is the basic definition of commercial banks. Basic definition of commercial bank: accepting deposits, lending loans. What type of loans? Short term loan, medium term and long term loans. Yeah, next. Now, what are the types of commercial banks? See, in India, you will see different banks. Some are public sector banks, some are private sector banks, some are foreign banks. So, how can you divide these three banks? Okay, how can you identify whether a bank is a public sector bank or private sector bank or a foreign bank? Okay, so in this slide, we are seeing that there are three types of banks. There are three types of banks in India. Okay, one is public sector bank, the other is private sector bank, other one is foreign sector bank or foreign bank. Okay, sorry, foreign bank. Public sector. Okay, we will see what is a public sector bank. Public sector bank. Okay, these are banks. Okay, these are also banks where majority stake is held by Government of India or Reserve Bank of India. Okay, in economics also you have three types of sectors of the economy: capitalist, okay, capitalist, socialist and mixed economy. Capitalist is nothing but private, okay, wholly run by private individuals. Social is nothing but wholly run by the government. Mixed economy is a combination of both capitalistic and socialistic. India is a mixed economy, means in India private players and government is going hand in hand. Okay, The mixed economy is nothing but contribution of both private sector and public sector. So here, public sector banks means public sector is nothing but government. Public sector is nothing but government, right? So if you see the definition, these banks, these are the banks where majority stake, majority shareholders are government of India. Means these banks are directly controlled either by government of India or Reserve Bank of India. Okay, they have majority stake. Majority stake is nothing but majority share. Okay, examples of public sector banks in India. See, State Bank of India, very famous bank, largest bank in India, State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda. Okay, so all these are public sector banks in India, which are wholly owned by government of India or Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so here you can say wholly, majority wholly or partially. Partially also you can say partially, right? Wholly or partially. Next, private banks. Same private bank. What is private bank? Majority of share capital here. Majority of share capital of banks is held by private individuals. Private individuals. Okay. So in private banks, the majority of the share is controlled by majority of the shareholders are private individuals. Government or Reserve Bank of India is nowhere involved with respect to stakeholding or shareholding. Okay. So these banks are controlled by private players. Private players. These banks are registered as companies with the limited liability. Okay. So there are some acts in India like Companies Act of 1956, Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Okay. All these forms are acts in India. So banks may register any of these acts. Majority of the banks were registered in Banking Regulation Act. Okay. What are the examples of private banks? Who are private players? ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. Okay. These two are the very good examples for private sector banks. Next, foreign banks. Yeah, foreign banks. Now, what is a foreign bank? These banks are registered and have their headquarters. Registered and have their headquarters in a foreign country. Means the foreign banks do not have any registration in India. They don't have any headquarters in India. The foreign banks have their headquarters somewhere. Okay, Citibank, American. Okay, HSBC, right? Standard Chartered. All these banks are foreign banks. See, these banks are registered and have their headquarters in a foreign country, but operate their branches in India. Okay, even though the branch does not have any headquarters in India, they'll operate in India. They will operate in India. Okay, these are foreign branch or foreign banks. Okay, what are the examples of foreign banks? HSBC, the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, Citibank, etc. Okay, these are the foreign banks in India. Now, so far we have discussed what is a commercial bank and what are its types. Okay, or what are the types of commercial banks. So commercial bank is a bank where accepting deposits and lending loans to its customers. Now, what are the types of commercial banks? Okay, what are the types? First one is public sector, second one is private sector, third one is foreign banks. Now we are going to discuss what are the functions of a commercial bank. Okay, what exactly commercial banks do? What is the difference between cooperative bank, NABARD and commercial bank? So, in order to know what is the difference between NABARD, RRB, other schedule bank, okay, first we have to know what are the functions of a commercial bank. What are the functions of a commercial bank? Okay, we will discuss each and every point in a precise way. Now, first function, accepting deposits. Yes, this is the primary function of a commercial bank, accepting deposits. Bank will run purely based on its deposit holders. Okay, the more the deposits, the more the bank can give lending activity, the more the bank can participate in lending activities. So what is the primary function of a bank? Accepting deposits. See, XYZ bank is there, XYZ bank. Now citizens are general public, whoever. Okay, they'll deposit their money with the XYZ bank. The bank will absorb the money from the public, and next bank, what the bank will do? They will give loans. They will give loans. Okay, they will give loans. Okay, so what is the primary function of a commercial bank? The primary function of a commercial bank is to accept deposits. To accept deposits. To accept deposits. Okay, so to mobilize deposits from the public. To mobilize deposits from the public. It is a primary function of the commercial banks. Deposits with the bank grow along. Deposits with the bank grow along with the interest rates. Okay. When you are depositing some 100 rupees with the State Bank of India, bank will give you some interest. Bank will give you some interest. Could be 3% or 4%, whatever be the amount. Okay. So interest will come. You can generate interest. You can generate interest. Okay, say for example for 100 rupees you can get rupees 4% or something interest. Okay, 4 rupees or something interest, right? So to mobilize deposits from the public, deposits with the bank grow along with the interest earned. Okay, the more you deposit, the more the interest you will get. There is also safety of funds. Yes, this is very very important function of a bank. Very big advantage of very big advantage with the bank. Okay, see, there is also safety of funds. Okay, bank is providing assurance for your funds. Okay, bank is providing assurance for your funds deposited with the bank. Okay, so when you deposit your money with the bank, it is a kind of safety. Instead of you can save with the money lender, instead of private financer or unorganized methods, if you save your money with the banks, it will give some kind of safety for you. Okay, because all these banks are government or RBI backed banks. Okay, next, grant of loans and advances. Yes, so already I told you, I'll tell you the difference between loans and advances in the coming slides. Okay, just here, this is one of the primary function of the commercial bank. Grant of loans and advances. Grant of loans and advances. Okay, loans and advances are given to members. Here members are nothing but account holders. Account holders. Members means not you and me. Okay, loans and advances are given to members, that the members are account holders of the public and to the business community, at a higher interest rate, higher rate of interest. Okay, so lending activities, this is nothing but lending activity. So loans and advances are given to members of the public and to the business community at a very higher interest rate. The bank customers can get loans from the bank. Okay, business people also, in order to run their business, they'll approach bank for low interest rates. Okay, low interest rate loans. The rate of interest charged on the loans and advances varies according to the purpose. According to the purpose. So what is purpose here? According to the purpose means personal loan, different rate of interest. Mortgage loan, different rate of interest. Housing loan, different rate of interest. Okay, so if you take different types of loans, there are different types of interest. Okay, interest rates will vary. Interest rates will vary according to the purpose. So there is no uniformity in the interest rates. That is what this statement is saying. The rate of interest charged on the loans and advances varies according to the purpose. What is your purpose? Whether for house construction, that comes under housing loan, that is different. Personal loan, that is different. Mortgage loan, okay, that is different. So it varies from purpose. Okay, and period of loan, yes, whether it is short duration, medium duration or long duration. So purpose, period of loan, and also the mode of repayment. Means how many EMIs, what is the value per month you are paying. Okay, so the rate of interest will change according to the purpose, period. Okay, period of loan, whether it is short term, medium term, long term, or mode of repayment like EMI, how much duration you are taking, 3 months, 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years. Okay, all these. Okay, so there is no uniformity in the interest rates. Interest rates will be varied from any of these purposes. Okay, next, what are the other functions apart from accepting deposits, lending loans to its customers? What are the other functions performed by commercial bank? What are the other functions performed by commercial banks? Let's see. Issuing letters of credit, it's like bills of exchange, you can say. Traveler's check, when a person is moving from one place to other. Okay, this is called, what you call, traveler's checks, similar to bills of exchange, what we discussed yesterday. Okay, undertaking safe custody of valuables. You can deposit your valuables in bank. Okay, if you see, some banks will put the board with safe deposit lockers. Some banks will provide lockers facility so that you can store your valuables in bank instead of your home. Okay, safe custody of valuables, important documents and securities, could be government securities, by providing safe deposit vaults or lockers. Okay, that's what the statement says. Some banks are providing safety lockers. You can store the documents, your valuables in that bank lockers. Providing customers with facilities of foreign exchange. Yes, foreign exchange. Okay, Money transfer, foreign exchange, when you are moving abroad, when you are going abroad, there you need some foreign currency. Rupees will not be valid anywhere in the world, so you can utilize this service called foreign exchange service. Okay, so these are the other functions of commercial banks. Transferring money from one account to another account, yes, it's a very common function. Anyone, people are aware of it. Okay, you can transfer money from X account to Y account, Y account to Z account. It is very easy. Okay, and one branch to another branch, one branch to another branch, what you call core banking solution, core banking solutions. Okay, suppose if you have your bank account in Panjaguta, some other area, you can deposit the money, you can deposit money from Dilshuk Nagar or some other areas also in the country. Okay, what do you call core banking solutions? Nowadays everything is online. Okay, you can transfer the funds from one branch to other branch, one person to other person. Okay, checks, pay order, demand draft, these are the negotiable instruments. Okay, so check, we will discuss what is check, what are the types of check in the coming sessions. Okay, standing guarantee on behalf of its customers. Yes, some banks will provide a kind of surety to its customers. Depends upon the cash, how much cash you are transacting, how much of your cash is bank handling. Okay, for making payment for the purchase of goods, machinery, vehicles, etc. Okay, now you can take the example of this credit card conversion. Okay, suppose if you buy something, a phone or a refrigerator through your card, bank is giving guarantee. Okay, the vendor will get full amount. Bank is giving guarantee for your purchase. Okay, that's what exactly the statement is. What is the difference between loan and advance? Okay, so one of the important function of a commercial bank, one of the primary function of a commercial bank is lending loans and advances. Okay, if people are aware of loan, what is loan, but what about advance? What is the difference between loan and advance? Okay, now we'll see. First we will discuss loan. Yeah, a loan is granted for a specific time period. It could be medium term, could be short term, medium term, or long term. Specific time period. Loans are generally granted against security. You have to give security to the bank of certain assets. Okay, a loan is normally repaid in installments, right? So loan is the most common term. Okay, so what is a loan? A loan is granted for specific time period. Okay, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever, there is specific time period for the loan. Loans are generally granted on against security. One can get the loans from the bank by showing security, by proving or by mortgaging something. Without securities, banks cannot provide loans, right? So granted against the security of certain assets. Okay, whatever the loan you take from the bank, you have to pay that loan in terms of installment, in easy installment, in easy installment. Now what is an advance? Advance is a credit facility. An advance is a credit facility provided by the bank. Okay, so both loans and advances are providing by the bank to its customers. Advances are normally granted for a short period, mostly probably less than 1 year. Interest is charged only on the amount withdrawal, not on the sanctioned amount. Okay, suppose if a bank sanctioned you rupees 5 lakhs and you withdrew only 2 lakhs. Okay, bank will charge interest only on this 2 lakhs, not on this 5 lakhs. That is what the statement says. Okay, so advance is a credit facility provided by the bank. So both loans and advances is a lending activity provided by the bank. Okay, it is a credit facility. Okay, this is a loan facility. Now, what are the types of advances? What are the types of advances? Now we will elaborate advance. Cash credit. Cash credit is an arrangement. Cash credit is an arrangement whereby the bank allows the borrower to draw amount up to a specific limit. Okay, so both OD and cash credit. OD and cash credit. So it is an arrangement whereby the bank allows the borrower to withdraw amount up to a specified limit. Okay, bank will give you option. Okay, when you are running short of funds or when you are in need of cash, you can approach the bank. They will give credit facility or OD. What is OD? We will discuss in the next slide. Okay, so cash credit is also similar to overdraft. The customer can withdraw this amount as and when he requires. Okay, so there will be some amount. Okay, say for example rupees 5 lakhs or 4 lakhs. Now you can withdraw. When you are running short of funds, you can approach the bank and you can withdraw this fund. What do you call? Cash credit. when he requires. Interest rate is charged on the amount actually withdrawn. Same here also. They will not charge interest rate on whatever the sanction amount. Only how much you withdraw. How much you withdraw on that particular amount, they charge interest. Yeah. Second type of advance, overdraft. Overdraft. What is overdraft? Okay. Overdraft is nothing but, in short, you can say OD facility, overdraft. Overdraft is a credit facility, same. Okay, credit facility, same. When you are running short of funds, you can approach the bank. When you are a business entity, and you are running short of funds, you can approach the bank for this OD facility. Overdraft is a credit facility granted by a bank. Yes, a customer who has a current account. This is very important point, because overdraft facility is not available to savings bank account. A savings bank's account holder cannot get OD facility. So in order to get overdraft facility, the individual must have current account. A customer who has a current account with the bank is allowed to withdraw more than the amount of credit balance. Suppose Mr. X is running a business entity. His account balance is 5 lakhs. Now he wants total 10 lakhs. So he can, okay, here he can opt for overdraft. So he can approach the bank manager. Okay, my dear bank manager, I am so and so, I'm having current account in your bank, I need funds. Okay, I'm running short of funds, I have only 5 lakh balance, so can you give me OD, so that I'll take 10 lakhs, I'll repay you in a short time. Okay, see, a customer who has a current account with the bank is allowed to withdraw more than the amount of credit balance in his account. Overdraft facility with a specified limit, there will be a limit on this, may be allowed either one of the security of assets or on the personal security, or both. Okay, so you have to provide the security, personal security or security of assets, so that by producing any of this, you will get OD facility. Okay, so these are the functions of a commercial bank. Functions of a commercial banks. See, accepting deposits, lending loans, loans and advances, okay, check facility, all these are the functions of a commercial bank. Right? Next, we will see. Next, scheduled bank. What is a scheduled bank? Right? So, scheduled banks are also part of commercial banks only, but there are slight difference. Okay? What is scheduled bank? Scheduled banks are those which are entered in the second schedule of RBI Act of 1934. So RBI Act of 1934, in the last session we discussed. Okay, so the scheduled banks are registered. The scheduled banks are registered in second schedule of RBI Act of 1934. Okay, what is the scheduled bank? Scheduled banks are regulated under the provisions of Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Scheduled banks are regulated under the provisions of Banking Regulation Act of 1949. They can approach RBI for financial assistance, like how other commercial banks. Financial assistance means what? Repo, reverse repo, bank, CRR, SLR. Okay, when the banks are in need of money, bank rate. Okay, they can approach Reserve Bank. Right? They can approach RBI for financial assistance at bank rate, repo rate, marginal standing facility, etc. Okay, so the point you have to remember is scheduled banks are registered, entered in the second schedule. They are entered in the second schedule of RBI Act. Okay, and they are regulated under which act? They are regulated under 1949 Act. Under 1949 they are regulated. Nationalization of banks. Yes, nationalization is very important concept, very important area for financial awareness, especially students. Okay, especially students who are preparing for bank examinations. This nationalization is a landmark event in the banking history, Indian banking history. Okay, so you can categorize the banks before nationalization, after nationalization. So this is an important event or landmark in the Indian banking system. So first, we will discuss what is the exact meaning of nationalization. See, the nationalized banks are the banks in which the central government is a major shareholder. Okay, so when the central government announced the bank is going to nationalize, the central government is taking the entire or majority of the stake or share in that particular bank. Means government is taking control. Nationalization means government is taking control over that bank. Okay, the nationalized banks are the banks in which the central government is a major shareholder. Indirectly, you can say controller. The central government is taking control over that particular banks. Okay, so on 19th July 1969, 14 major banks were nationalized by the government of India. This is famously called first nationalization. First nationalization. Okay, in which year first nationalization took place? Right, on 19th July 1969, 14 major banks. Okay, 14 major banks were nationalized by the government of India. Why nationalization? Why government of India has nationalized? We will discuss in the coming slides. Okay. Okay, in second in 1980, second time in 1980, second nationalization, the government of India took over another six branches, six commercial banks. Okay, so total 20, total 20. So between 1969 to between 1969 to 1980, government of India nationalized 20 banks, 20 banks. The first nationalization took place in 1969. In that first nationalization, government of India nationalized 14 major banks. Okay, it was the period of Indira Gandhi. In 1980, the government of India took over another six commercial banks. Now, why nationalization? Reasons for nationalization. Yeah. Commercial banks in India were not functioning. Commercial banks in India were not functioning according to the development requests of the people. Okay. So why government has taken the control? Why government has taken the control? Why government has nationalized these banks? Why? What is the primary reason? Commercial banks in India were not functioning according to the development requirements of the people. According to the development requirements of the people. Okay, so they are, commercial banks are not meeting. Commercial banks were not meeting the requirements of the citizens, people. The banks were controlled by a group of industrialists. The banks were controlled by a group of industrialists and businessmen who had used bank funds to build their private industries. Okay, so previously, before nationalization, the commercial banks were controlled by these particular individuals, private individuals or businessmen or private industries. They are utilizing the banks only for their personal purpose, their personal growth, not for the national development. Small industrial and business units, agriculture trade were ignored. So before 1969, that is before first nationalization, banks totally ignored these sectors. Okay, because even though these sectors are very very important, these sectors are not profit motive. Agriculture is a not profit motive activity. It is a way of life of Indians. Okay, so these commercial banks are not at all focusing on the agriculture activities, cottage industries, small business units. Always they are giving priority to these industries and business people. Okay, because these banks were controlled by only that particular individuals. Okay, so progress after nationalization. What are the developments after nationalization? Okay, expansion of number of branches. Yes, this is very important. When nationalization took place after 1969, okay, before 1969, banks were constrained or restricted to urban areas. Before 1969, banks were restricted to urban areas. After nationalization, okay, rural areas also can enjoy these banking facilities. Rural people are seeing these banking facilities. Banks expansion of number of branches means banks are expanding to rural parts of the country. Previously, before 1969, we don't have banks in the rural areas. After nationalization, banks started set up their branches in rural areas like villages or towns. Priority sector lending increases. Yes. What is priority sector? Priority sector leads to agriculture, MSME, education. Okay. All these part are priority sector. In the last session, we discussed 40% of the loans, 40% of commercial bank loans must be given to priority sector. Okay. These are underdeveloped regions, underdeveloped sectors of an economy. So these commercial banks must give priority to this priority sector lending. Okay. Level of deposit mobilization. Yes. When the bank reaches to rural parts, mobilization of savings is possible. Okay. Mobilize zero balance account. Why banks are giving zero balance account? So that BPL, below poverty line citizen also can save something in his bank account. So when you are addicted to save something in the bank account, it will create a kind of mobilization of savings. It will create a habit of savings in your account. Okay, so when you are saving money in the bank account, banks can utilize that money for nation development by providing loans. Okay, saving money in the banks creates capital formation. Again, the same capital formation will be given as loans. so that the entrepreneurs or the businessmen who took loans from the bank, they start their business activity, they can create employment, thus it will bring employment rate up, unemployment rate down, and poverty levels down, right? So level of deposit mobilization and bank lending increases. That's what it says. This point clearly says deposit mobilization leads to bank lending increased. So when the customers are depositing good amount of money in the bank, automatically that money will be utilized to that money is utilized for lending activities. Okay, so that's all. This is about commercial banks functions. Okay, what are the types of commercial banks? Nationalization. In the next session we are going to discuss development banks. What are development banks in India? Okay, it's set up, when it was set up, and all these functions of development banks, everything we will discuss in the coming sessions. Okay, thank you.